Welcome back. In this episode, we're picking up the pieces literally, and for a view of how we got there, go ahead and check out the last video, but we'll give you a short clip of what went on. So first things first, out with the old, and these are some of the parts that we went through. I'm not sure about anybody else, but sometimes it feels like when you crash, you're kind of like Sonic and losing all his money, right? As with all these videos, this is just a how I did. It's not a how-to video. I like to go through the gear and kind of see what's wrong, what's damaged. Kind of gives you a better idea of some of the things you need to look at. As you see, the gloves were pretty torn up in this one. Leathers took a pretty hard hit, and one of the knee cups on the Danny suit was hit hard enough to where it actually folded, so we'll have to get some attention here through aftercare. We'll pull the bike onto the stand so we can get a better look at what's going on. I always like to have something down on the stand itself just to catch any fluids that may drip off, but we'll pull off parts here so we can start taking a look at what's actually broken, what needs replacement, and what we might be able to reuse. After a lot of these crashes, you're going to have to take a lot of dirt and grime and that kind of thing out of these bolts just to get them out because they get packed everywhere. So just double check that as you're taking some of this out so you don't round off any bolts or nuts as you're taking them off and they've got debris on them, right? As we're disassembling things, I'd recommend to take out the main fuse so that way as you're taking your switches apart, disconnecting things. If you did have an issue with any kind of a short, that's going to prevent any other damage from moving forward or cause any other issues down the road you didn't see. As we pull off the bar here that's broken off, the clip-on snapped, we'll take a look at our lever protector. Again, taking more dirt and grime out of the bar end here just so we can take it apart. Overall, I think that this bar end survived pretty well. Spider makes good stuff. As you start to disassemble your fairings and get underneath the bodywork to see what's actually broken, you'll see that some of these Zeus fasteners are actually kind of hard to take off because everything is shifted and cracked and that kind of deal. So just stick with it. Try to be careful where you can so you're not creating any damage to any good bodywork, but obviously the old stuff that's already damaged, right? There's no sense in being light with it. I always find it kind of funny when you remove the belly pan, you can see all the rocks and debris and dirt and whatnot that you scooped up during the crash. So go ahead and just discard that stuff and move forward from there. But you'll get quite a bit of that each time you take off this bodywork. With both side fairings removed, now we can go ahead and take off the front fairing and start looking underneath to see if there's any damage to any electronics. So we'll pull off our catch can here and then start to take a look at the air inlet. Don't forget to disconnect your air temperature sensor. And as we take a look at the air duct, it looks like it survived. Just a little bit of paint, she'll be good to go. Never a bad thing to go ahead and give the bike a quick wash so you can really get up close and personal after you get the bodywork off to see if there's any damage in any cases, if there's any fluids leaking, that type of thing. So if you do that, as you see here, everything's still taped up. I would definitely recommend taping up all your electronic sensors and so you're not getting any water anywhere you don't want it. So here we're taking off the IMU, making sure everything survived there. Usually this is tucked in pretty well with the front fairing stay, so there shouldn't be any damage, but something that we're still going to take off and examine, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. In this case, looks like we're doing pretty good. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove our instrument cluster. Some of these bolts get a little tricky if they get bent and they'll kind of spin off from the back of the unit as opposed to where they're supposed to. But once we get it off, we take a look here and we see that it survived, and that is thanks to the exterior cover that's aluminum. So get yourself one of those, they are worth their weight in gold. Moving on, we'll take off our tank cover to take a look at the tank. And then we can see there that it's pretty well damaged. We'll take off our airbox cover to take a look, see what we've got under there. We'll remove the battery. Main fuse is already out, but I like to take the battery out just so it's not in the way and we don't have any other issues moving forward here. As you can see, this one's a little harder to get out because the tank has been folded in ways it shouldn't be. Start to remove some of the switches. We'll take a look at our throttle here, and that one looks like it's been, worse for wear. You'll see here in a second we've got our wires that are totally ripped out. That bar itself is bent, so we'll pull all this stuff off and see how deep all this goes. Moving back around to the tank, you can see that there's a ginormous hole on the left-hand side, so we're actually pretty lucky that the race fuel dumping out of the thing when we crashed didn't catch the whole thing on fire. So we'll disconnect all of our electronic sensors, fuel pump, and then we'll go ahead and remove the tank so we can check to see the subframe is all good and airbox is all right underneath. Moving up front, we're going to take off our steering stabilizer and the mount itself, and that's all in preparation to take off the forks, make sure that they didn't bend, as well as the front wheel. When I'm taking this stuff apart, sometimes there's little spacers, and I like to keep them together and thread them back into the place that they go. It's just easier to keep track of, but really it's just a personal preference. This Craytech mount has been really pretty cool, as the frame has been broken from a previous crash, and so that mount for the steering stabilizer is pretty awesome, and check them out. Moving on to the front stay, so we'll remove all the bolts so we can take off this front stay. It is bent a little bit, so we'll see how bad it actually is. And again, this just helps us take the front forks off. So with a little more room, we'll slide the first right fork out. Everything looks to be all right, but we'll go ahead and get it on the bench here and double check in just a minute. We'll take the left fork out. Remember to suspend your calipers since they're not hanging on the brake lines, so tie them up somehow. We'll throw everything here on the dial indicator, and it looks like our first fork is good to go. We'll check the top and bottom tubes, make sure there's no irregularities. And we'll do the same for the other fork. Everything looks to be good with very little deflection. Finally, we'll check the wheels, make sure there's nothing there. See, you got a little bit of hop just because of the sticker, but overall these are in spec. All in all, things look to be not too bad this time around, and so we'll dive in a little deeper. We'll pull off our airbox in the next episode. We got a new tank to install, so we'll go over a couple of things with that. Obviously, bars we're going to need to put on, and so we'll go over a few of the differences in the different bar types. So stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll catch you guys then.